Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I've got 2 orders to fulfill today, 2 different people, so I figured I'd do them on one video. And this clock is for Susan, and this clock is like really simple. It's basically poured black and she wants gold trim put on with a paint pen after the fact. So that's pretty simple. We're just gonna pour. This holds 10 ounces, and I'm going to use the black pigment paste and get it jet black for her. Beautiful, shiny. That'll be really simple. This one was ordered from Diane. Diane is the grandmother to a 9-year-old boy named Magnus who enjoys watching Glitz and Glitter. I think he likes Don better, but that's okay. He wanted one of my little elk guys done, and he wanted them filled with my little rubber duckies, which is an adorable idea. I did it one time and it came out super cute. It's one of my favorite ones that I've done. So we're going to do that. And then he said to bling it out to my heart's content when I'm finished, but we don't want a girl one, we want a boy one. So we'll have to see what I can do to him after the fact for blinging out. I don't want to put rhinestones and eyelashes and all over this for a little boy. So we'll figure that out in a little while. I'm going to make his antlers with brown mica powder, clear for that obviously. So I'm going to mix up 16 ounces. This holds about 5 ounces. Maybe I'll do 15. I don't know. I don't want too little, so I'm going to do 16 because I know the ducks are still going to take some room. So I'm just going to do 16. I'm going to use my big mixer today and get that mix. So we're going to use the epoxy resin on this one. So let's get started, guys. 16 ounces mixed up. I'm going to color the black and the brown, and then we're going to put it all in the vacuum chamber. I'm going to put a hefty dose of black in there. Make sure it's as black as I can get it. I don't usually have orders this simple. I'm going to get spoiled. But it must have the perfect place for a black and gold clock. That's what I'm thinking. And this clock is really pretty. I have the gold faces too, which is nice because the faces come in silver or gold. So you just kind of pick and choose according to whatever kind of clock you're making, what color face you get. That's perfect. All right. Now I'm not going to put this in the vacuum chamber. Well, maybe I will. It shouldn't bubble over. It's not more than half full, but I don't know that I need to. But since I'm going to do it anyway, I might as well. These are for the antlers. This mica powder is no longer available, so I will put a replacement mica powder for brown in there as a link with all the links in the description box. If you can't find anything, just let me know, but I try to link every single thing. There goes my dogs, guys. Sorry. My guess, it's an Amazon delivery. Okay, that's really good. Now to get all the bubbles out. I didn't put the brown in. I didn't have room for it in there, so I just left it there. It'll be okay. I'm going to spray this with alcohol. I did split this in 2 because it definitely would have bubbled over, not really boil over. It doesn't get hot in there. And we're going to hope and pray for not one bubble in this. And I think it takes 10 ounces exactly. And then the little elk guy, I'm just trying to think of the best way to do it so I don't incorporate bubbles when I put all the little ducks in there. So I'm thinking a little resin, a couple ducks, gently in there. Yep, this took the whole 10 ounces. I probably could have used another little bit, which I might do because I know I have enough extra. Let me just try to top it off. I don't think, I better put black in it. I just need a tiny little bit, but I didn't want to put clear in because I don't know if clear was going to do some sort of weird reaction I don't want. So I'm just going to put a little bit of black pigment in here. I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially on an order. I'm not experimenting today. And I'm going to try to gently stir this so I don't make bubbles, but it only needs a tiny little bit. I would rather have it domed so I don't have to trim it than not dome it. So let's see what we got. That's pretty good. It's domed pretty, yep, that's domed perfectly. And I just have a tad bit left. Not very much, so this took probably another ½ ounce, 10½ ounces if I measured it correctly. All right, so let me move this one out of the way carefully. Let me carefully slide it. And I'm just gonna keep spraying it as bubbles rise to the back. All right, for this one, I'm going to spray it with alcohol for sure because there's little parts that it won't go into nicely if you don't. And I'm going to take a little tool and make sure it gets down in there. This is my medium size elk. This is not the normal little one that I do all the time with extras. This one, I have a 3-piece set. This is the medium of that set. And this one has a different set of antlers than the little guy does. This is more like a moose, actually. This is like a moose antler than a deer antler. I'm just gonna get that down in that base where you plug it into the head and up in the little points. And then I will fill her up. All right, that's good. A little too much. Let me get the extra out. Okay, now there's a little brown left as well. For the hard one, let's see. I'm gonna spray it with alcohol first because of those eyes down there. I want to make sure the resin gets in those eyes before anything. So I think I'm gonna fill them, I don't know, a third of the way. Squish it in the eyes, make sure it's in there. I apologize now, Magnus, if there's a few bubbles in here, but I don't know if I can avoid them. I'm just gonna start dropping, and these seem heavy enough to stay down, and if they float, I'm gonna take a piece of silicone, a scrap piece of silicone, lay it on top with something to hold it down. I've done that before and it worked really well. We're just gonna shove these little guys in here gently as I can. I'm And I want them stuffed packed to the rim. I'm just getting, as I put them in, they are making, obviously, the resin rise. So I'm not going to add more resin until I have to. So we might end up with a lot of extra today. And there's some bubbles rising with it. So hopefully those bubbles will make it all the way to the surface. Still don't need any resin yet. Put some back there. Just pop some bubbles. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to throw him in the vacuum chamber and babysit it and see if I can get those bubbles to rise real quick. I have no idea where all those bubbles came from, so I don't know if that helped me or hurt me. So I guess we're going to find out in the end. I have no clue where all those bubbles came from, so hopefully I just didn't create a mess for me to clean up or have to redo it, because these are a lot of little ducks to not have to replace. I don't know. I just can't imagine where all those bubbles came from. I mean, these are solid plastic. I expected, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 bubbles to come up. I didn't expect all that. I don't usually put my molds in the vacuum chamber, so I don't know. I don't know. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it creates more bubbles. All right, I'm going to pour a little more. We're almost to the top. And it's holding so many more ducks that I ever imagined. But I want it packed full. And I also really want that to stay closed, and I didn't think about that. I'm going to have to clean this off somehow and maybe tape it together. I don't have a rubber band in here. I don't think I even own a rubber band. All right. I've got some left. I've got 3 ounces left. So this did not hold very much at all. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on today. 3 ounces. So I'll have to find something cool to make with 3 ounces. And see if I can get this held together, and then I will dome it. I have this little pig mold that Barbara sent me, so I think I'm going to make Barbara a little pig. I know her colors are pink and purple, so I just mixed up a little pink and purple. I had 3 ounces left. It's probably going to have a bunch of micro bubbles because it's getting warm, and I just mixed mica powder in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of marble it together. Pour a little bit of this and then a little bit of that. Oh, and I took these to hold that together, so that should be good. And let's just try. Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is pouring a little bit of this. And it might eat up each other's colors, I don't know. And I'm probably not going to have enough. That's really going to stink. It holds way more than 3. Shoot! That, I did not expect that. So, I don't want to fill this up because I'm going to have micro bubbles in there. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it into a different mold, and I'll surprise you on demold. everything is cured, it's time to unmold. I did pour everything from the pig into this little frog. So I've never made this one before. I just found it when I was going through all my molds. So we're going to see what that looks like. But the extras, I put in the clear some sparkly white mica powder. And I got that pendant. And I made the most adorable little family for Magnus. Here's 4 of them. So I used my duck mold and I put little bow ties on the boys. I painted with copper this time. I've never used a copper one. So I put for the girls little flowers and a little pendant on their neck. And here's another little boy with a little bow tie. And this one has a butterfly and a pendant on. And then from the black and brown, I made 3 more. And here's a little girl with a flower and a pendant. And I put their little eyes in. I colored their beaks and their little wings. And then this one has a white flower and a necklace pendant. And then this little brown one with a little flower and a pendant. So I'm going to put magnets on the back of these for him so he could put these all on his refrigerator or wherever he wants to adhere them. So let's do this one first. I have a special guest coming to unmold this one for you, Magnus. But for now, let's get this out of the mold. I wasn't sure if this was a shiny mold or a matte mold because it looks like a candle mold to me. And of course it's full of bubbles, which is exactly why I did not want to finish that the pig one she sent me. So it was really, really warm when I was pouring it. He's got freckles now everywhere. That's what we're going to call them anyway. So let's finish this guy up too today, even though he's got freckles everywhere. And let's get the clock mold out and make sure everything's good before we finish this one up with the gold marker. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Nice and shiny. So this one just needs some gold trim and that'll be done. She didn't specify exactly what to do, so I guess she trusts me. So I did take the gold clock out. So this one's going to drop in there when I put the little hooks in. That already looks nice. So let's get that out for now and move that aside. And let's go get the special guest.
Hello, Magnus.
I was going to give you a drum roll, but he just popped right in there.
I didn't say hi to my little buddy.
So, Magnus likes you more than me, I think.
Magnus, you are one cool dude.
Oh, yeah, he's cool, huh?
Yeah.
So, that's what I made for him. So, you get to unmold it.
Okay. I'll take this sucker out
That
of here.
goes with it, too.
This goes with it?
Yeah.
Well.
One of your favorite animals.
How do you get that out of here?
Well, yeah. And you probably got to squirt some alcohol in there. You're lucky I don't make you finish it off with all the bling bling he wants on it.
The bling bling?
It's going to be boy bling bling, not girl bling bling. Whatever that means. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. You got to squish it around the head or you're never going to pop that head out of there. You could tell when the alcohol gets up in there. See that? Big bubble?
Mm-hmm. It's coming out. It's coming out.
Don't rip the head off. Is it still warm?
A little bit.
That would be terrible. That would be really terrible.
We'll just make Magnus another one.
No, that one's good. I want it to come out in one piece. Now you're scared. Is it really warm? I didn't even check it.
No.
Do you want my help?
Nope.
There he goes. He's getting it. He's getting it.
It's a boy.
Isn't that cute?
What's all them little red things?
What do you mean? They're
Oh, those
little
are duck
ducks.
bills. Okay.
They're all the little rubber duckies he wanted in there.
All right.
Oh wait, I put this in the vacuum chamber in the mold and it actually worked.
Here's antlers.
Those go in his head.
In his head.
Yeah, right there.
Check that out, Magnus.
Well, it's not gonna stay, I gotta glue it.
I know. You got a little elk moosey thing.
And we gotta finish it off. That's a little too close.
So where's
to the
Magnus live
camera.
at?
I'm not sure. I couldn't understand from the email.
Magnus, you'll have to tell us where you live at, brother.
I think he's out of the country, but I'm not quite sure. All right, Magnus, so it's time to finish up your little elk or moose or deer, whatever you want to call him. Let me catch you up to where I'm at. So I saved the moose to do on the camera so Magnus can see what I'm doing to it. Here's the extra. I put some eyelashes on her, huge eyelashes, some eyes, a little ladybug, and a flower in her hand. I didn't want to go too crazy because of all the freckles, but I'm gonna stick with that story. She's freckles and they're not bubbles, so that's the story with her. Here is the clock. What do you think? It was not easy to do that with a steady hand. So Susan, if you don't like it, you could take it off with alcohol. But I went over it like 3 times, but these little lines were kind of hard. They're not perfect, but it's handmade just for you. I hope you like it, but it is very classy looking. Very, very pretty. All right, so for the moose, the only thing that I did was put the white on the eyes because they take some time to dry. So I think to keep him more manly, I'm going to put a little top hat on his antler because that's the only place I can figure out where to put it. I don't have one that fits his big head or his big antlers. So I'm just going to use E6000. UV resin does not work on this stuff. And I'm just going to stick it on. I've already E6000 the antlers in so I can mess around with it now. So that's on there. And then I thought Let's put a little rose on his nose and then a little butterfly on the nose to give him something to look at. And I'm just going, like I said, I'm just going to glue this stuff on with E6000. It'll hold way better than UV resin. I'm going to stick this right onto the flower. Whoops. And a little bow tie, but actually I forgot about his face. Let me grab a marker. I mean his nose and his mouth. So I'm going to give him a little nose, which you might not even be able to tell with all the eyeballs from the little ducks in there. And then we're going to give him a happy face. Like that. And I have a little bow tie. Oops, that's not for that. I have a little bow tie for him instead of a necklace. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the back of this and put it around his neck. Because with the, you know, a top hat, he's obviously dressed up to go to something formal. I should have grabbed my tweezers, but I didn't. All right, that's going to stay right there. So I'm not going to do any diamond rhinestone toes or anything for him. And I probably should have done, you know what, I'm going to take this off for now. I need to do his eyes before I can't reach them. Let me wash that. I get that glue. Oops. Okay, I'm going to do his face all over again. And I'm not sure that the white is dried yet. Let me grab my other marker, this one. Yeah, I always forget, you got to do the face before you can, or do the eyes before you can do the face, or you're going to mess it up. So I'm going to make him look cross-eyed at the little stuff on his nose. There's one. And these pens are oil-based, and I like them the best for the eyes. I don't know why, I just like them better. So that's what I always use for the eyes. 2, and that one's not the same size. That looks better. Now we can put the nose on. Oh, okay, I guess I'll use this marker. It's a little bit more black than that Sharpie was. Just takes longer to dry. Let's see if I could do it. Ah! If you mess up, just wipe it off. This one's a little more slippery than the Sharpie marker, so I think I'll use the Sharpie for the mouth. Let me just wipe it all off here. There we go. I have better luck with a Sharpie on his mouth. And Magnus, if you want to change his face, just have your mom or dad wipe it off with some alcohol, and you could make a different face on him as much as you want. Okay. So that's on. Let's do the whites in his eyes, and then we'll put the rose back on. This as well is a oil-based marker. Make him look cross-eyed. There we go. Then all we need to do is put this little rose back on. Let me just wipe the glue off. I might have to UV resin the little butterfly on. It's not wanting to grab a hold for some reason. So I'm just going to put this on the flower. Get it on his nose. And then let's grab the UV resin just to make sure this butterfly, I mean, I guess you could do both, but it's such a small surface, and the UV light goes right through this because it's transparent. I'm going to put a dot of the resin on my table so I don't put too much on the flower. Then I'll just grab it with a scribe. Speaking of scribe, remember when the dogs were barking earlier in the video? And I said, oh, it's probably Amazon. It was Amazon. And it wasn't anything that I purchased. I got some Happy Mail today, so I will show you what it is in just a second. Oh, no. Okay, cleanup time. See, this is why I don't do my extras on camera. I usually do them in a fast forward because there's so many things that make it last forever. Let me just put the UV right on the flower instead of the back of the butterfly this time. Then I will stick him on and get that cured really quickly. And then we'll wait for the flower to dry. So yeah, I got some Happy Mail from Bonita. And she sent me a couple things I'll show you in just a minute. So yeah, I never expected that when the dogs were barking. So thank you, Bonita. I'm going to grab them here in just a second. Okay, that's cured. We just need to wait for him to dry. What do you think? Can you see everything? His little hat. I'm not going to put eyelashes on him because I'm trying to keep it as male as I possibly can. I'm not going to put any like tattoos or anything, but I am really excited that the bubbles are nowhere to be seen. There's no bubbles. Oh, I trimmed his bottom and then I put UV resin on the trimmings. So that made it shiny again because I did have to trim a few things. So that is it, Magnus. I hope you like it. I'm going to throw a bunch of extras in the package for you. Let me put this stuff, the caps on, and I'm going to grab Bonita's gifts so I can say thank you properly. She sent me, she knows my favorite. She's a longtime viewer, So Bonita, I appreciate everything. I appreciate all your comments and emails and whatever, everything. Thank you so much. So she knows I love scribes, I guess, because she gave me a whole set of them. So look at all those scribes now. If I lose one or if somebody steals one from my room for some reason, I have plenty of them. I love them. And these are bigger, a little bit bigger for me to grab onto. So love these. Thank you so much. And she sent me a box with 24 mica powders. And these come in little bags. So I'm going to have to put these in my shelf with color coordinated so I know what I'm looking at. They're all labeled. Bronze and berry and everything. I'm not going to go through 24 of them, but look at all these colors I have to work with. I'm so excited. I just love colorings. I will use these for a long time to come. So Bonita, thank you very much. My dogs announced your arrival. And that's it for today, you guys. I will get you pictures of everything that I've done. Leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. And I will see everyone tomorrow. You guys all have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.